This is one of the three who are in the lead. Takanonami, one-time Ozeki. Tying now with Asashoryu and Chiyotaikai with 7 straight wins. And here's the Yokozuna, Musashimaru, doing his ring entering ceremony, the Yokozuna Dohyo Iri. And he's 1 step behind, so he's well within reach of taking his 3rd championship, but certainly the 2 that are setting the place on fire are Asashoryu and Chiyotaikai. Well, it's a full house. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wrestlers sitting this out at this point. That's what that sign says. So let's go to our first bout. Now we have Aogiyama against Buyuzan. These two have only fought once before. Aogiyama won that one. Aogiyama was in the Juryo last time around, and last Basho, Buyuzan only had 6 wins, but it's Buyuzan who takes that one as Aogiyama spins round on the edge. 7th win for him, doing better already than his previous Basho. Now, veteran Akinoshima about to come out, 154 kilos, some 20 kilos heavier than his opponent, Oikari. Some very average performance so far for these two. Akinoshima not looking too good. You can see him getting driven back there. Well, he's not really fighting so hard these days. He's 35 years old, of course. And it starts to fade once they get past 30. Not quite as tough as he used to be. So Oikari wins that one. 6th win so far. And that was 5th loss for Akinoshima. Now Jumonji from the Michinoku stable fights Wakanoyama from the Musashigawa stable. Well, Wakanoyama suffered from diabetes some time ago. Says his internal organs are weak. Tries to avoid the booze, so we're told. A lot of sumo men drink like fishes. Well, Wakanoyama gets that one in the end. Lots of putties there, thrust to the upper body. That eventually sends Jumonji out. So 4th win for Wakanoyama, 5th loss for Jumonji. Now Chiyotenzan from the Kokonoe stable. That's the stable that's run by the one-time great Chiyonafuji. Doesn't go by that name anymore, but he rules his stable with a rod of iron. This is one of his lads. And Chiyonafuji sitting around the edge here watching. Here fighting Otsukasa. Well, it's Otsukasa who gets that one, and that was his very much needed 1st win. Got 7 losses so far. Lost this basho would have, this bout, particular bout, would have meant Makikoshi. That was Chiyotenzan's 7th loss, so he's not doing very well either. Now Daizen, 154 kilos. He turned in a 4-11 performance, 4 wins, 11 losses last basho. Tokitsuumi sat out the last one due to injury. So both of these are towards the tail end of the Maigashira rankings, so they've got to watch how they do this time out. If they get bad performance, they may drop down into the Juryo, but it's Daizen there who gets it with an overarm throw, gets his arm over the top of Tokitsuumi, grabs the belt and then pressures down on the arm and spins him over. So win there for Daizen, 3rd win for him, 5th loss for Tokitsuumi. Toki fights Tamakasuga. Tamakasuga here usually comes out, leads with the head, then he goes for the throat. Let's see if he's going to do it this time. Head doesn't clash. Toki stops him before the head goes in. Now there's a lot of slapping going on there. Some pretty heavy slaps from Toki. In fact, they're both slapping. Now there's the throat thrust from Toki. Well, that was a rough bout. A little bit of aggro between these two, I detect. Well, Toki certainly roughed him up there. Win for him, 5th win, 4th loss for Tamakasuga. Now Kotomitsuki's got 4 wins. Last basho, of course, he sat out. Had an operation on his jaw, which was broken basho before last. Here fighting Shimotori. They never fought before. Shimotori lashes on the belt quicker and doesn't give him a chance. Takes him to the edge and then tips him over slightly sideways and out. Well, that was very quick off the mark for Shimotori. Kotomitsuki looks slightly asleep there at the start. Possibly underestimated Shimotori. It's the Aichi Prefectural Gymnasium, where the sumo is always held. Full house, lots of people here. And you can see all the fans fluttering in the background. There's no air conditioning in this big place. It's very hot. It's over 30 degrees. So it's a tough basho for these wrestlers. Now it's Kyokutenho against Takanowaka. They fought 7 times. Takanowaka on the left has won 4, and that makes it the 5th. Well, he read that one well. He guessed Kyokutenho was going to come out fast from the techiai and reach out, and he just turned and popped him down with a little assist. So 4th win for Takanowaka, 3rd loss for Kyokutenho. Hokutoriki from the Hakkaku stable, same stable that Kaiho comes from. It's run by the great one-time Yokozuna Hokutoriki, who was a contemporary of Chiyono Fuji's. In fact, they both came from the same stable, the Kokonoi stable. So slowish start there. So both wrestlers. Whoops, there was a nice push from Tochinonada. A long push right in the middle of the chest, which completely rocked Hokutoriki off his balance. They're very careful how they place the hands on the opposing Rikishi's body. Just in the right place can really send them flying, otherwise nothing happens or they damage their own wrists. Always looking for that sort of most effective position. Now, Kotonowaka fights Kyokushuzan. They've fought 13 times before. Kyokushuzan won 7 of them, but he's only got 1 win in this basho. So he comes out there, but you see, that's typical fault of Kyokushuzan. He reaches out, but his legs weren't moving behind him. It's no good reaching out if your legs are not moving. You've got to keep going forward the whole time. So very describes the faults of Kyokushuzan there very well. So Kotonowaka gets that one with the overarm throw. That's 7th loss for Kyokushuzan. He's getting closer and closer to Makikoshi. Now we have Takamisakari. His stablemate Ushiomaru is leading in the Juryo division, who of course fight before this top Makuuchi division. He's leading with 7 wins and 1 loss. Here fighting Miyabiyama. Well, an interesting start there. Not exactly a classical start from Takamisakari, but beats Miyabiyama there quite neatly. Let's watch that one again. So Takamisakari comes in a bit low. Miyabiyama unleashes a harite, a slap to his head, which Takamisakari just ignores, and then starts powering forward and shoves him out from behind with okuridashi. It's 4th win for Takamisakari. The winning wrestler stays in the corner there to assist the oncoming new wrestler, and now it's Asa Shoryu. He's got 7 wins. If he gets next win, it'll be Kachikoshi, but that's not what he's after. He's looking for the tournament win, the Yusho, as it's called. Now, Aminishiki. These two have fought twice before, and Asa Shoryu's won both of those fights. Asa Shoryu at 21 years old, doing extremely well. It's you have to remind yourself sometimes he's only been in sumo 3 years, and here he is getting closer and closer to the top. So a hard start, but Aminishiki gets off the mark a little bit closer. Almost had Asa Shoryu on the run, but he recovered very quickly. He's got this quality of recovering from these onslaughts. So there's the start. Aminishiki starts moving him forward. You can see Asa Shoryu's legs skidding backwards, and then he starts to get back into it. And there he goes. Then he starts powering, and Aminishiki loses it. So 8th win and Kachikoshi for Asashoryu. That's the win that means he'll have more wins in this tournament than losses. If he would lose from now on, he'd have 7 losses, so that would be 8-7. That was the 6th loss for Aminishiki. Well, we saw him hurt his shoulder yesterday. It doesn't seem to have affected him that much. So Masashi Maru coming out. He'll be fighting Takanonami shortly. Well, that will be an interesting one. Although statistically, Masashi Maru's beaten him a lot more times than he's ever lost to Takanonami. Now, next one out is Wakano Sato. He's got 5 wins so far. Previous tournament he had 8 wins. Usually gets around the 8, 9, 8 mark in these tournaments, although he fights all the top men. Tatsunoumi, Western Komusubi had 8 wins last basho. Now that looked close. Wakano Sato gets the referee's decision though. The fan goes to Wakano Sato. And that was a win with uwatenage. Well, you can see both wrestlers there, not quite sure who got that one. They both went flying out. They say in sumo, never think that you're winning or you're not winning. Don't think about winning, just think about staying in the ring. These bouts are over so quickly. They start thinking about, I've got it, then the chances are they haven't. So you've just got to stay in the ring at all costs. Now, Chiyotakai fights Kaiho. He's still fought twice before. Well, now Kaiho we know is good at sidestepping the opponent's charge. So if Chiyotakai comes out like a rocket, for sure Kaiho's going to try and sidestep him. Or maybe he won't. Maybe he'll go full frontal and then try a sidestep. Let's see. Yeah, it goes head to head. But, well, he didn't get a second chance at that one. They banged heads, but even from that slam there, it was Kaiho moving backwards off it. We saw Kaiho win a couple of days ago where he went straight in against a much bigger wrestler, then they bounced apart, then he sidestepped, and then he beat the bigger one. But Chiyotakai is looking a bit unstoppable this basho. 3.5 years ago he won a tournament. Since then, nothing. And some prize money there for Chiyotakai. Now we have Takanonami. Well, this is a record of sorts. These two are now will be fighting each other for the 55th time. They both started Makuuchi Sumo in 1991, so that's 11 years they've been in this top division. 11 years, 6 bashos a year, that's 66 basho in theory, the maximum possible. Well, they fought each other 55 times. And Masashi Maru's won 36 of those. And Takanonami's won 18. Takanonami's been getting a lot of media attention. He's on a roll. He's been winning every day. Every time he goes down to the changing rooms, the shitakubeya afterwards, he's surrounded by the press corps. But, well, Masashi Maru dealt with him there without too much trouble. Contemptuous little flip at the end of that sent Nami over the edge. So 7th win for Masashi Maru and the first loss for Takanonami. Well, that levels them up. They've both now got 7 wins and 1 loss each. So yorikiri win there for Masashi Maru. Let's watch that one again. Well, he handles him pretty easily there, just throws his shoulders in, moves forward, loses it slightly. No, Takanonami comes back in, then he starts moving forward again. See that little flip at the end? Boom, there he is, goes down. So the end of day 8, it's Chiyotakai, Asashoryu, just 2 of them in the lead with 8 straight wins. Step behind Masashi Maru, Buyuzan, Takanonami with 7 wins and 1 loss. Stay with us, we'll be back after the break with day 9.